You know, the irony is I spent most of my life trying to get out from under the shadow of the Catholic Church. True story. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is like my third video in a week? I'm back, baby. Alright. So, I think I've mentioned before I like to buy in bulk. I do a lot of record collections. And if you do that, you're eventually going to end up with a pile like this. This is all just records. Every one of these bins. And it's not garbage. It's some good stuff. It's just stuff that I can't really grade and sell on eBay. So I got to get rid of that stuff on Facebook Marketplace. I have tried listing it 6 times, and for some reason it always gets flagged for violating community standards, which is weird because I am very specific about my description of what I'm selling. There's Buster. Say hi. So that's been my project, trying to get that offloaded. I'm putting that up on OfferUp later today. That there is my third Goodwill pile in under a week. So, yeah, I'm going to be offloading a lot of stuff. Been cleaning a lot and making a lot of good progress. Here's my living room. Ooh, look at that. Over there, that's where my death pile tried to eat me. Not anymore, which is great. My shipping area is starting to look real good. Look at that. Those are my records. Those are the ones I'm keeping. But if you look at all that, looking great. Yeah. So, one of the recent changes on eBay I wanted to make a quick mention of. They recently outlawed or banned items called Black Americana. And to which I say, great, good riddance. That stuff, I'd never understood why you could sell Nazi stuff on eBay and you couldn't sell Nazi stuff, but like equally offensive stuff, Black Americana was totally okay. So, for the past like 2-ish years, I have made it a practice of anytime I run into it, I take it off the market. It goes in that box. And when that box gets full, I send it off to a African American history museum who actually uses that stuff for educational purposes. So, I feel like that's a good way of paying it forward. I don't think that stuff really should have a market outside of museums. And if you feel the same way, and I hope you do, I would encourage you to do the same thing. You might find that stuff at yard sales, garage sales, things like that. And you know what? I'll pay up for it. I prefer for that stuff not to be circulating. So, moving on. My eBay store is about 6,500 items. And I don't have a shed. I don't have a storage unit. I do have a basement, though. And I also don't have an inventory system, believe it or not. But it doesn't mean I don't have an organizational system. So let's kind of take a look around here. Back there, these are my records. They are alphabetized. That was part of this big recent cleanup project, which was huge. It was taking me 30, 45 minutes sometimes to find records. Not anymore. Now it takes me about maybe 2 minutes at the tops and to find them. Now these bins here, these were the remnants of an eBay store that I bought out. Paid, I think, $2,700 for somewhere in the neighborhood of like, I want to say 1,800 listings. And I used InkFrog to migrate those all over to my store. And I ended up working out great. It definitely made all my money back and then some. But the lady I bought from, she was a little bit older. There's been some inventory inconsistencies, and had to deal with those as they come up. I've taken a couple defects. But this used to be about twice as big, and I've been consolidating that down as stuff sells through. And I'm getting to the point now where I can actually maybe go through and do like an inventory of what's actually there. So, like I said, my eBay store is around 6,500 items. How do you do that? You might be asking. It's actually not very difficult. Number one, I try to focus on stuff that doesn't take up a ton of space and is easy to keep organized and falls into certain categories. So, you can see some of this here. I mean, we've got glasses and sunglasses. Let's get my finger in there. There we go. Sunglasses, kitchen utensils. Got record needles. There's some big money in record needles, let me tell you. Vintage scissors. I actually have a pair of these going out today. I will get those later. Wrenches, old vintage wrenches, guys. You're looking for forged, made in America stuff. Really easy to clean up. Bartender's Friend or Bartender's Secret works really well on this stuff. You can buy a toolbox full of these things for like $10, $20 sometimes, and then just sell them off $15, $20 at a time shipped. I mean, look at that. That's like $300 in inventory right in there. Maybe cost me $25, $30, and I sell wrenches all the time. Some wallets, some coins and metals stuff, rulers and drafting instruments. Now, if you guys don't know, things like slide rules, vintage compasses, even old rulers can get some good money for. There's a collector's market for vintage measuring tape, so I've got some of that in here. Here's another kind of cool old vintage forged steel compass. So those kind of things, measuring devices, drafting tools, map tools, things like that you can make some pretty good money on. Let's see here. Wouldn't be a reseller if I didn't have my stack of yearbooks. Bunch of baseball mitts. Got some vintage toys in here as well. Here's some books. Some camera equipment. This is all kind of still a little bit of a work in progress, so things are kind of getting scooted around every now and then. We got some 78 RPM records. There's Buster. Got some Star Wars gear. Those are just some laser discs. Some more Star Wars stuff. And then just kind of like some vintage box games, puzzles, a few odds and ends. A few things need to kind of get scooted around a little bit. Again, Funko Pops. Some more Star Wars and new in box stuff. More collectibles. Got some pocket knives here. I like selling these kind of things. Vintage gauges. There's some really cool ones here. Again, collectors for everything. Small clocks and watches, pipe sliders, accessories. Got some letter openers here, office supplies. This is all kind of vintage stuff. Check out this cool Kiss pencil topper, or Rolling Stones pencil topper, rather. This kind of stuff can do pretty well. Got